Okay, so only you are here in the meeting, so I'll wait like couple of minutes. If nobody joins, then I'll just start the stream. Okay, it's gonna be about psychology and mindset, etc. Okay, so yeah, it's not gonna be something technical, but it is something that is really important in trading. I'll just wait like a minute or two before beginning the stream. There isn't gonna be anything about charts, but I'll just still share my screen. Okay, it's just kind of is great. You get something to look at. Okay, so just sharing my screen for nothing, but it's gonna be general talk, and I might show some illustrations, so it'll be handy. Okay, so I guess I'll begin. We got two guys right here. Okay, so I'll just begin the stream. Okay, let me set up the chat, etc. All right, so okay, so now that this is like the last lesson of the mentorship, and I have teach everything, I've taught everything about how to know where the market is heading, how we can look for entry, where to enter, where to have your stop loss, and everything about the charts is now done. And I hope that now you will be able to know where the market is going, or you might be practicing it and seeing these things live on chart. Okay, so now it's all about it's gonna be about controlling yourself, having control over your emotions, and how to set your RR, okay, which time frame to trade, and all those things. Okay, so I'll begin with the psychology first. So now every person have different kind of mind, different kind of mindset, different kind of preferences. Every human is not the same, right? So they will have different preferences in their trading style as well. Everyone will have a different trading style, okay, due to a new unique personality of every person. Okay, so some people, they will love to hold trades for longer. Some people will just love to scalp. Some people will love to to do swing trades, maybe because they don't want to look at the charts intraday, or they are busy enough that they cannot look into the charts for intraday trades, or they just don't like how intraday trades executes. Okay, so everyone is gonna have perspective. I know most of you are scalpers, are intraday traders. Okay, and a lot of people are actually scalpers and intraday traders. Okay, we see swing traders very less in the market. Okay, now you have to understand your own self. You need to know what kind of person you are. Okay, you need to know if you can hold trades for longer, if you panic while holding the trades, uh, are it is you feel good when you are in a swing position, you have like less patience or more patience. So you need to examine yourself and know these things. Okay, when you know these things about yourself, you will then start to look for your time frame. So for example, if you are someone who loves to who loves to uh, hold trades for longer, and they have the patience to hold trades for like 2 weeks, 20 days, 30 days, 2 months. Okay, So these kind of people, they can trade on the daily chart. If someone can hold their trades for months, okay, they can trade on the weekly chart. But if you don't have the required patience, and you are someone who can hold their trade for 6 to 7 hours or 4 to 5 hours, then you should be choosing M15 chart or the H1 chart. Now H1 chart can go into days or 2 days or 3 days. Okay. So you have to choose your time frame. You have to select your time frame according to what kind of person you are. So I've given you like those time frame alignments, that daily, H1, M5, etc. All those time frame alignments. You have to choose the one that suits you. Okay. Then the next thing is that how to deal with losses. Okay. So, a lot of people, they blow their accounts, or they get their personal account into deep drawdown, or they completely take it to zero because of revenge trading. Okay, because they cannot handle the losses. Okay, they will get into a trade. Okay, if they lose the trade, they will get into another trade. Okay, when they lose that one, then they will get into another trade. And when they lose that third trade, okay, they'll be like, they will realize that they have done a mistake. And then they will start to gamble. They will start to risk more. They'll start to, maybe, for example, their usual risk is 1%, then they will start to risk 2%. And they will be like, if I risk 2% and I get 1 to 2 hour on this trade, I will be able to recover my loss and I will be in profit and I will get 4%. If they lose that trade, they know that now they are deeply underwater. They will be like 5% down. Okay. And that's where they really start to gamble. And when they start to gamble, they just lose their account. So what you have to do is to have some specific rules for you. So for example, my rule is that I'll take a trade. If it goes to TP, good. If it doesn't, then I'll look for another trade if it satisfies my condition. Okay, only if it gives my model. So I'll look for another trade. If I lose that one, then I'll not trade. I'll not take another trade. So that means that my risk per day can maximum go to 2% drawdown. I won't go any further than 2%. Okay. For example, if I'm risking 1%, okay, and I target, usually I will look for 1 to 2 hour. Okay. Now, sometimes I do look for high RR. I leave partials most of the time, but I take a partial most of my trade out at 1 to 2 hour. Now, there are a couple of reasons why you might see a lot of people choose to have 2 hour trades. Okay, and I also love to take 2 hour trades. They go to the TP very quickly. Okay, uh they usually price will not usually consolidate in that. Okay, so here's, let me explain. So for example, if you are an M1 trader, and this is like, for example, let's say there is this right here. So there's an intermediate term high formation. You enter right here and you target this. So you maybe, for example, enter from this breaker and place your stop loss right here. For example, this is the 1 minute chart. So your risk will be, I mean, in pips. Okay, it will be either 4 pips or 5 pips. The market will take very less time to go into 10 pips. For example, if your risk is 5 pips, it can easily do 10 pips without getting into consolidation. But when you try to target high RR, for example, you target 5R, what will happen is that market will come lower, then starts to consolidate or retrace. Then after that, it will go lower. Then it might consolidate again or retrace again before hitting the TP. So the difference in targeting high RR and less RR is that your targets are met very quickly. Price goes to your target very quickly, rather than if you target 5R or 4R. So that's like the very reason I love 2 hour trades. Okay, you get to get up from the charts very quickly. So you will enter a trade and your TP will be hit in like 10 to 15 minutes. If you are trading on M1 chart, okay, If you are trading on the M5, then it will be an hour, 1.5 hour, or 30 minutes, or 45 minutes. Okay. If you are on the 1 hour chart, then that will be 12, 13, 15, 16 hours. Okay. So thing is that the market will expand, and when it expands, it can easily do 10 pips on the 1 minute chart. So for example, if you are looking at MPIP range, so at MPIP, your risk will be, for example, in pips, it will be 11 to 12 pips, for example. So your target will be 24 pips, right? So price can easily make 24 pips without getting into consolidation on the M5 chart. So this is one of the reason why 2 hour trades are really amazing, and they actually save you mental capital. They actually save you mental capital. You don't have to stress about your trades. Okay. When price console, you know how it feels when you enter a trade and price gets into consolidation. Now imagine, for example, if you enter right here, let's say right here, and then you see all this consolidation, how is it going to make you feel? Of course it's going to make you feel bad. Or if you take example from here, if you enter right here and price gets into all this consolidation, it's going to make you feel bad. But if you have small targets, so for example, you enter right here and you get out right here at this high or at 2 hour, see how quickly your target would have be taken out, or your TP would have hit. But if you target high RR, then look at this consolidation in between it. Okay. So now this makes actually, now this also has something to do with the psychology. A lot of people, they panic when price gets into consolidation. Okay. Some people have this problem of moving their stop losses very quickly. So for example, when price goes up to take out the high or this high, they will move their stop loss to a fair value gap or the middle of a fair value gap or below a low. And sometimes what the market is going to do is that it's going to come lower, get them out of the market in profit, of course, and then go up. Okay. And that will also affect them. Okay. That will also affect them when price takes out their stop loss and then it goes to the TP. That really affects the person psychologically, right? They will be like, they will get angry on it. Some people cannot control their anger. Okay. And they get angry due to that reason. And that's why they start to take a revenge from the market, which, as I've explained, it leads into blowing their accounts up. Okay. So now, this was like something really important, right? You need to understand that you won't have to revenge trade. So no matter how much you know about the markets, no matter how much you know about that intermediate term high or low or whatever, okay, but if you do not follow your risk management rules, if you do not follow your strict drawdown rules, you are most likely gonna end up losing. Okay, you are most likely gonna end up losing. Okay, so you can find a lot of trades right here, from here to here with the model I've given, but there are gonna be losses as well. But imagine if you take a loss and then you start to revenge trade, and you take a trade in the same direction again and again and again, even though your model is profitable, okay, and it has higher win rate, but the problem will be with you. Okay, the problem will be with you. You will start revenge trading and you will end up blowing up your account. Okay, so this is something that was really important to address. Okay, so what you have to do is that you have to understand everything about yourself. You have to note what things do you lack of, what are the things that you are good at. Okay, examine yourself. Know if you can trade on the M1. If you can trade on the M1, you have to examine yourself. If you can trade on the M1, just go with the M1 if you are good with it. Now, some people think that M1 is very choppy, okay? And that is actually not true. Price is literally fractal, okay? Look at this. This is H4 chart. It is also in this consolidation, and look at and you might have seen the conditions in this consolidation. The thing is that a lot of people, when they get into the M1 chart, so price can get into M1 in this kind of consolidation can happen on the M1 chart as well. So imagine you take like 10 trades in this consolidation, what are the likelihood that you are gonna come out of it profitable? Okay, it's very unlikely that you will come out of it profitable. So if if you feel like price is choppy on the M1 or something like that, okay, you can go to the M5, of course. Okay, you can go into the M15. Now there's one advantage of M5 or M15 over M1 is that, for example, there is this range right here, and you know the kill zones as well. So if you are trading M1, this will be like from here to here, it will be like the NY session. So you will find like a lot of trades in the NY session on the M1 chart. But if you zoom in into, for example, the daily chart, look at the trades that you might find in that same period of time. So if you find like 5 trades on the M1 inside the kill zone, you will find less trades on M5 or M15 when you look at the same price action. So that can also kind of stop you from over trading or revenge trading. Okay, so if you feel like you gamble a lot or you over trade on the M1, just go a step higher, go to the M5 chart and see how you do there. Okay, because it's obvious that on the M5 less less setups are gonna appear. So less setups is equal to less chance of blowing up your account, less chances of over trading. Okay, so this is just this one advantage of higher time frame over low time frame. Rest, there is no difference in the win rate or anything like that. Price is literally fractal, and I have showed you a lot of time. Okay, that whatever happens on the daily, you can see that on the M1 chart as well. You can see that on the seconds chart as well. Everything is literally fractal. Okay, so this was about psychology and mindset. Now what you have to do is that understand the things that you lack, understand the things that you are good at, and then note them down and build a model out of it. Select your time frames, select your RR, select your percentage of risk, okay, based on those things. So for example, if you are a scalper and you love to take like 4 to 5 trades a day, which I don't really recommend, but some people can do it better. And I don't like it, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it as anything like that. It's just that I don't like it and I cannot do it. Okay. So if you are someone who likes to take like 4 to 5 trades a day, then of course you won't be risking 1% on a trade. Okay. You of course will be risking less, for example, 0.5%. So even if you lose 4 trades, okay, your drawdown will be 2% per day. Okay, but if you are someone who likes to take like 2 to 3 trades or 2 trades in a whole week, then you should go with 1%. Okay, you should go at 1%. With that, your max drawdown for the week is gonna be 2%, 3%, which is not that much if you look at a week. Okay, so you have to select your time frames, you have to select your RR, your risk management, the number of takes trade you can you can take, okay, per day. All those things you have to select them based on your psychology and your mindset and what kind of trader you are, based on your patience level. Okay, so these are things that needed to be addressed and these are really important. Okay, and yeah, so this was about this lesson. So now if you have any questions you can ask me. It was a short one because it was just simple talking about the psychology, etc. So nothing very technical. You can ask anything. Yes, I can look into this trade. I'm not sure what's the issue, but Twitter doesn't load properly on my computer. It does load properly on my laptop. It is fine on my mobile phone, but it's not fine on the computer. So I'll just okay, I guess it's loading, but if it doesn't, I will save the pictures from the phone or from my laptop and then open it from Discord. Yeah, I'm waiting a little for it. So it's from Zex. Daily discount fair value gap in DXY. Okay. 1 hour DXY market maker buy model, 1 hour EU market maker sell model, 1 M1 2022 model entry. Okay, let me see the images. Oh my God, it's kind of insane. Like, I don't understand why it doesn't work on my computer. So here is the USD chart on USDX chart on the 1 hour. So there is an order block on the 1 hour chart, price tapped that, and there were this liquidity above and a fair value gap. So basically, this trade was from, okay, it already took out the internal range liquidity here. Okay, let's go into the next slide. On H1, okay, so here he kind of took a trade that was from like external to internal range liquidity. He kind of like participated in the retracement phase. Okay, so SMT with GU. Okay, so this is very strong. Okay, so SMTs are really strong. Okay, and when they happen after the market structure shift, okay, they are really strong. Okay, so there is SMT with GU. Now if I saw something like this, like an SMT with GU, I would have picked GU, because that means that if EU is making a higher high while GU isn't making a higher high, that suggests that GU is more bearish than EU, right? Okay, so here is the M5 chart. Okay, so here's an SMT, here's a breakdown lower. Okay, so he kind of, I guess, took this trade based on the internal, from external to internal, and then this SMT with the GU. So he waited for price to get into the order block, I guess. Yeah, it did. So after the order block, price made a market structure shift, and here was this RDRB, the redeliver rebalance PD array. So I guess he entered from here. Let me see his executions. Okay, so then after from H1 to M5, he went into the M1 chart, which is also valid. It works. Okay, it's not that you must be on the M15 chart. Okay, you can use the 10-minute chart, the 5-minute chart. Okay, it's not that you have to be really precise with the time frame selection. Okay, you just need a logic. Okay, so there is a market structure shift, this one, right? Sorry, this one right here, and then there is a break lower, then there is the intermediate term high formation right here. Price broke lower. Okay, so if you saw my entry models video, right, you can see that you could have entered right here. Okay, because price took out a short-term high and then displaced lower, so you have to draw out your fib from here to here and enter in premium. So this could have been your first entry. He didn't enter there. He has his own way of trading. Then price broke lower, so now you can find another entry here as well. So the first entry would be right here when price broke this lower and your stop loss right here. The other would be drawing a pip from here to here and then entering in this in premium. So he kind of took that one entry, if you can see right here. So price went into the fair value gap and he entered from there. He placed his stop loss protective at the intermediate term high, and then price broke lower again. And now have a look at this right here. So his drawn liquidity wasn't met yet. Okay, and I told you that as long as your drawn liquidity isn't met, you can look for more entries. So if you see here, there is a high and there is an M5 fair value gap as well, as he annotated, and there is a high which is taken out, then price breached lower, and he entered right here anticipating that this will be the intermediate term high and then targeted like 2 hour, I guess. So nothing's wrong with this trade actually. Let me see the daily chart, okay, and see how uh, the daily or the 4-hour chart is. Okay, so nothing's on the daily. The 4-hour chart. Okay, so I guess his entry was right here. So I think he anticipated a retracement after this high was taken out, and then he entered in the retracement. Yes, exactly. You need to have three time frames towards your drawn liquidity, which supports your idea. Sorry, so which supports your idea. But right here, this is his way of trading, even though I wouldn't have entered right here. But this is his trading. I just told you what I anticipated. Okay, so I said that you need three time frames. Okay, so it can be H1M daily H1M5. But what he did was that he used H1 as his very high time frame, M5 as his middle time frame, and M1 is as his very low time frame are for the execution. Okay, so this isn't something that I would have traded because price already went into the internal range liquidity after taking out the external on the 4-hour chart. So I didn't had like any drawn liquidity right here. I wouldn't like short it. Okay. But this was his way of trading, right? And I don't understand anything else about it, but I just elaborated it in my way and how I looked into it. Okay. So I might ask from him and then maybe tell you about it. He's my friend actually. And let's see if there is something else. Okay, wait. Let me see if there are anything related to sessions, etc. Okay, so here is the Asian high. Okay, so nothing about the sessions as well. So yeah, that's literally what I elaborated from it. How to build discipline and be mental strong. Now, I have to say it's something that alone, like a speech from me, a speech from anyone can build it for you. But it is something that you will have to learn it from your mistakes. Now, in this trading journey, when you lose, when you overtrade, and when you risk more than, or you gamble, okay, when you start to gamble, okay, sometimes people lose their control over themselves when they start to gamble. If you do that, this will teach you to this will teach you the discipline and how to be mentally strong. What you can do is that now everyone is gonna see these things. Everyone will see this thing. Okay. There's very there there's very less chance that anyone won't see themselves gambling or anything like that. Okay. So what I'll recommend is that you should get a small live account, a very small live account on an exchange like Prime XBT, Bing XR, any exchange that allow, or a broker, get it on a broker. Get small amount on that, okay, and trade with small risk, like risk $1 per trade or something like that, okay, or $2 per trade, and master it there. Master it there. When you master it there, then you will be able to trade seamlessly on on larger capital. Okay, so this is how I'll say you will build discipline and mental strong. And one more thing that can really help you is that don't expect anything from the market. Okay, now I know this seems kind of insane, like you are here to make money and how do you not expect something? But this thing right here, this markets, even though it's algorithmic according to ICT, we see signatures of it being algorithms, but there are low probable conditions as well, and it can continue for a whole month. So, for example, if this consolidation, this continued for like how much days? It was like for 29 days. Look at this right here. Okay. It can go for 60 days. Okay. It can go for 60 days. Who's gonna ask them? Okay. You cannot do anything about it. Okay. So if you expect like very high like you expect something a lot from the market in this time, then you are literally fooling yourself. Okay. This will lead into, when you expect something from the market, this will lead into trading low probable setups. Okay. This will lead into over trading. Okay. So for example, let me give you example. Some people set targets for themselves. They are like, I have to make at least 5 hours per week. Okay. So what happens is that they will be going good. They will be profitable. They will be like, for example, at 4 hours for the week, and it will be, let's say, Friday, and they'll be like, oh, I got this target of 5 hours per week. I need to get 1 more hour. And what they will do is that they will get into the market. Now they are in a hurry. So when you are in a hurry, you won't be waiting for your good setup to happen, to appear, right? So you will trade a low probable setup. This will lead into loss. You will get into 3 hour, for example, from 4 hour. Okay. Now you will be angry on yourself. Okay. You might lose control over yourself and you will trade again. This can lead into another loss. Okay. And you may wipe all your, you may wipe all the efforts you made in the week. Okay. I saw a tweet earlier today. Okay. It was also from one of my friend here. Okay, so he says that one thing to learn in trading is to control your anger issues. A small moment of irrational behavior can pretty much wipe out your week's hard work. Anger generally arises from expectation, so lower them. This is a really underrated tweet, and this is actually very important. Okay, if you get angry or you fail to control yourself, you can literally wipe all your week's hard work. You will be 6 hour in profit. You will be 7 hour in profit. You will be 3 hour in profit, and you can wipe it all in a matter of minutes. Okay. So, and here he gave the reason as well. Anger generally arises from expectation. You will get angry on something when you expect something from. So even in your daily life, you get angry when you expect something, but that doesn't happen that way, right? And when that doesn't happen that way, you get angry. And some people do stuff in their anger that are bad for them. This can happen in trading as well. You can wipe your hard work for the week or for your day if you are a scalper. And let's say you are like, I need to get at least 3 hour. I need to get at least 3 hour per day. When you go into the market with this mindset, maybe at the end of the day you will be at 2.5 hour and you will be like, oh, I'm still behind from my actual target, which is the 3 hour. Okay, and you will start to overtrade again. You will start to overtrade, and if you lose that, then sorry, when you are behind from your target, your 3 hour target, you will choose a low probable setup. You won't wait for your best setup to happen. If you lose that, that will result in your over trading, right? So this is something that you should keep in your mind, and this thing can like help you build discipline and make you mentally strong. And trust me, uh, experience is what is going to give you discipline, and it will make you mentally strong. So that's why I'll say, as a beginner, it is really good to trade with low capital. Okay, like risk $1 or $2 per trade. Okay, and that will still teach you a lot of lessons in the market when you do it live. Okay. Now, any questions? How long to become? Now, this is also something that varies person to person. Some people, they will get things pretty quickly. Okay. They'll get a grasp of things pretty quickly. Some people take time to learn. Some people can be profitable with ICT concepts if they practice them. Okay, they can become profitable with it in 5 to 6 months. They can get it in 4 months. Okay, some people can do it in 3 months. Okay, some people might take uh some some people might take a whole year or 2 years. Okay, so that is something that varies person to person, but uh, in my opinion, as a beginner, if you show up every single day, okay, and practice on the M1 chart, okay, for your first month or something like that, and you see the price action live happening, okay, and you don't treat the M1 as your M1 chart, you think, just think like it's a high time frame or anything like that, okay, and price is fractal, but you have this, a lot of people have this in mind that M1 is choppy and whatnot shit, but that's literally bullshit. It's literally the same as other time frames, okay? So when you see things live on the M1 chart, you will understand when the market might get into consolidation, when might there be low probable conditions. Hold on. Okay, so you might get to experience low probable conditions like days in the 1 minute chart, and you will learn how to deal with them. Okay, so when you learn how to deal with these on the M1 chart, then I'm sure you will be able to deal with it on the M15 chart as well. You'll be able to deal with it on the M5 chart as well. So tape reading is really important. Okay, you cannot learn it without seeing these things live in the market. So if you think that you can just watch tutorials and watch my streams and be profitable with it without practicing or tape reading anything, then you are really in a misunderstanding. You need to practice these things live in the market. You have to see them live in the market. You have to see these candles printing live in the market. Have some anticipation every single day. So if you are bearish, anticipate something like a Judah swing after the 2 a.m. London open, and then like an open high, low close candle. Expect an open low high close candle based on the order flow and all those things that you have learned so far. So there isn't like any specific time period which I can tell you that you will become profitable, but yeah, you can look into yourself and practice. Okay, so it varies from person to person, so I can't really say any specific figure. So just like I said yesterday, I don't know if you were there on the yesterday stream, but one of the student right here, okay, his name is Fibonacci's or something like that, in the Discord server. Okay, he said that he started trading. He started trading 2 months ago. Okay, he just started like 2 months ago, but I believe he has a very firm uh, uh, understanding of what I'm teaching. He's getting these things very quickly than I see other people because he participates a lot, he anticipates a lot, okay, he asks a lot, okay. So and he look at these things live in the market. Okay, his username is White Dragon. So you can check his work in the Discord server. He's very active in the server. He anticipates stuff, he posts his charts, and even in the streams he interact a lot with me. So it varies person to person, but if you put effort, trust me, one day you will get profitable. Okay, it might not be quick, like it might take 6 months, it might take 8 months, okay, but at the end of the day, it's worth it. It's worth uh all this hard work, okay, and stress, etc. So working now is is gonna reward you later. Okay, should I focus on mastering a pure? At this stage, I'll say master just one or two pairs. So stick with Euro USD and GBP USD. Okay, stick with that and have a look at the economic calendar as well. See how the market reacts on news, etc. Before the news is, what happens at the news is. Okay, look into that and master these two pairs. Okay, then after practicing on it, you can then after mastering these two pairs like your USD, GBP, USD, then you can look into other pairs as well and see how they work as well. Okay, but I'll say as a beginner, you shouldn't really be focusing on a lot of stuff that is gonna make you confused. Okay, of course, you might not be able to manage it correctly. So I guess focusing on a couple of pairs is better. Okay, rather than looking into tens of, 15s of pairs. Okay. Any videos? Okay, so if you ask me, there is a video of Mark Douglas. Okay. There are videos, sorry, books of him as well. So you can look into his book. Okay. I have forgot the name, but you can search Mark Douglas, uh, psychology book, and it will appear. Okay, so, and you can look into that. That's an amazing book. You should give it a read. I have watched a video of him, though I haven't read the book, but he said kind of the same things in the book and the video. Mark Douglas. Okay. Okay, but I'm telling you again, like, you might watch that video, you might complete that book. Okay, but what really is gonna build your discipline and give you a good mindset is the experience. When you make mistakes and you learn from them, this is literally the best way to master anything. Mistakes, making mistakes and learning from it, that's like the best way to master something, right? So if you now, there isn't something like, is it better to trade in London or New York? It's gonna be the same. Okay, it's gonna have the same kind of probability. But you said that you don't like news. So in that case, for you, London session is better. Okay, it really should be about your likes and dislikes. Okay, you need to build your model uh, around your likes and dislikes, around your pros and cons. Okay, so as you said, you don't like news, so just trade London. That means that London session is better for you. Okay, shouldn't be focusing on New York then. You're welcome. So got any questions? And since it's the last stream of this mentorship, I really want to thank you all for joining. Okay, it was a great journey. It was a great month. I hope that you learned something from me and it proves to be good for you. Okay, and I'm confident that these things are gonna help you if you focus on it and if you put in the work in it. Okay, so so it was a really cool journey, and I really wish you all luck. Do you know if there's anyone, if there's anyone sharing the backtesting based on your model? Um, I have one backtesting data on it, and one of the guy showed it to me, and it was purely indicator based. Okay, in my Discord server, in my free Discord server, he actually ran indicator signals as well. Okay, he built an indicator, and in that indicator will pick my model, and when the indicator would pick my model, he would send an alert in my Discord server. So the results were pretty good from that indicator. He shared some results with me on the Asian session high or low model, but I'll ask him if he has something on my main model, the intermediate term high or low model. So I'll ask him if he gives me that, then I'll actually send it to you. Okay, I'll send. I will ask him. But you can go into my free Discord server. If you don't know the link, you can go into my Twitter and you will find it there, okay, in the bio. And there will be a channel which will be named ICT indicators. There will be a category, and in that category there will be indicator signals, okay. And he used to send these indicator signals in that server, and completely based on my that was completely based on my model, okay. So yeah, it had some really great examples, and a lot of times that indicator has picked the trades that I have taken, okay, that I took. It literally picked those trades, okay. So I'll ask him if he has any data about it, and I'll share with you. Mr. Thank you, sir. I learned so much. You're welcome, bro. You're welcome. And it makes me happy when you guys see results from what I teach. It literally makes me really happy. Okay. You can, it doesn't necessarily needs a bias. Okay. So I guess you can trade it without the bias. Okay. It works. It works without the bias as well. Okay. uh, the data that my friend sent me about it, it was without a bias, okay, and it had some pretty great results, okay, live results for the 2023 back testing, okay, so you can trade it without the bias, but I'll say it again, at the end of the day, it depends on you, right? So you can test it out, you can back test it or forward test it with bias, and you can backtest it without bias as well, and you will know which one is better for you and which one is it that you can trade on what pairs to it will be for GU and EU only. I haven't tested out on indices. I remember someone says yes, but bias basically, okay, now here you are kind of getting it a little wrong. Now without bias, it's of course gambling. But when you have a drawn liquidity, you are actually having a drawn liquidity in this model. You just don't have a daily bias, okay? So you actually try to trade against the manipulation, right? So you have this concept of open high, low close, or open low, high close. But when you uh, enter after the manipulation in the London session, you have a drawn liquidity. Actually, trading without a drawn liquidity is gambling. When you don't have a drawn liquidity, when you don't know where the market is heading and you are entering into the market without any drawn liquidity, then that's gambling. So, for example, right here, this price action right here, if I don't know where the market is heading and I look for an entry, will I succeed? Definitely not. I will most likely fail it. Okay. But if I know where the market is heading and I look for trades towards that direction. So let's say, for example, if I'm bullish right here and I expect market to run higher. Okay. So if I go into the monthly chart, okay, there was external range taken out, there was internal range liquidity right here. Okay. And let's say I had a bias that price is gonna go into the monthly fair value gap. Now when price actually came lower and took out this low, and here I look for my entry. Okay, I look for my entry right here into longs. That isn't gambling. Okay, you can take example of it as, for example, this is the Asian high, and you can say, let's say this is the Asian low, and price takes out the Asian low, and now your drawn liquidity is the Asian high. So when you are trading this model, you actually have a drawn liquidity. So that's not gambling actually. Okay, gambling will be you are just randomly trading patterns without knowing where the market is heading. Okay, so that is actually gambling, and you cannot even trade without that. For example, okay, let's say this is the consolidation right here of the Asia session. Price makes the manipulation, Then there is this right here. Now, if you don't know where the market is heading, I think this looks like an intermediate term low, right? This looks like an intermediate term low. I can enter into the market right here without any logic and target higher. But the difference is that now you have a logic and you have a drawn liquidity and you know where the market is heading. So your drawn liquidity is lower. So you are now ignoring everything that is bullish. Okay. You are actually looking for intermediate term high. You are not looking for intermediate term lows. But when price makes this, now it actually confirms my bias. It confirms my drawn liquidity. So now I can enter right here with my stop loss right here and target here. There's a difference between entering into a long position here without knowing where the market is heading, and difference between entering into a short position here with a drawn liquidity below. Okay, so it's not same thing. My models, all of my models have a drawn liquidity, which is not gambling, of course. But usually people, the definition of bias for people is the daily bias, okay? Anticipating where the daily candle might go. Okay, so that's actually what people think bias is. But bias can be your session bias. You can have a bias for the session. You can have a bias for your week. You can have a bias for your month. Okay, so yeah, it's kind of different from not having a bias. It should happen after the 2 a.m. Now there is, okay, I'll give you example related to, there's a guy on Twitter, you might know him, he's a famous ICT trader, Phantom, right? Phantom ICT. His model basically is, his model is based on M5 chart, okay? He just looks for a run on a session high or low, and then go to the M5 chart and look for a market structure shift. And not just a market structure shift, he looks for a closure of the candle before the market structure shift low or high. Okay. Wherever that candle closes, he's gonna enter there, place his stop loss at the low, and have a fixed 2-hour target. Okay. That's his model. Now a lot of people think that he's trading without bias, and ICT said that don't trade without bias. But he actually is someone who is actually basically trading session bias. Okay, now he definitely doesn't have a bias. Okay, he says that he don't have a bias or anything like that, but he has found something that is working for you, and there actually is a logic behind it, and the logic is the liquidity pools. So price is gonna manipulate above liquidity pools, and it is gonna manipulate below the liquidity pools. He uses that into his advantage and target 2R. Okay, and I have given you the reasons of why I love to trade 2R trades. Okay, but the usual logic behind it is that if the Asian high is taken out, market is most likely gonna go for the Asian low. Now you might not be someone who is gonna hold it till the Asian low, but you can just target 2R and then get out of the trade. Okay, so you just need to have a logic behind your trades. But if you are someone that doesn't have any logic, you don't know what you are trading, you are just trading some patterns without any logic, then that is actually gambling. No, it's not similar to him. Okay, his time frame is different, even though the logic he uses is the same as me, but uh but the model is different, the time frames are different, and the way of entering is different. And this model has been taught by ICT as well. like not exactly as I teached you, but he just said like that there is gonna be a false run after the 2 a.m. opening time, and then the market will go to the opposite direction. So ICT, he doesn't literally spoon, yes, judo swings. He doesn't spoon feed people, right? He doesn't, he just gives the logic, and then you have to find out those things from the logic. So yeah, that's something that I found out from that. He has talked about the previous day's highs and lows as well in the core content, the previous week's highs, and I think he thought he teach that as well. Yeah. Any last trade examples now? I haven't traded in this week. I haven't traded in the past week, and I haven't traded in the week before that. The first 2 weeks I didn't trade was because of my exams and all those stuff. This week, actually, I'm not seeing what I want to see. Okay. So I'm not sure. I'm kind of the market conditions are kind of low probable for me. So that's why I'm just having control over myself, and I understand that the market conditions aren't good, and I'm trying to stay away from it. So yeah, I don't have any trade examples as of now. Maybe the next week will provide something clear and good. Now the daily chart is clear to me, but the weekly chart isn't clear. So I'm kind of waiting for something on the weekly chart. I want to basically, I want to see how this week rolls out. Yes, whenever I take a trade and it turns out to be a clean one, then I share that trade result on my Twitter. So after posting it on Twitter, I'll share it on the Discord as well. Okay, I'll explain that. Yeah, sure. I will try to. I'll try to post my losers as well on the Discord. You are welcome. Yeah, I understand. That's not an issue. You are welcome, man. Like, glad that I'm glad that I'm hearing good responses from you. Yeah, I'll try to make a course, and actually, this is like my last live mentorship, and that's because I'm kind of not getting time right now due to my university. So when I started this mentorship, I was free, right? And now I'm kind of not getting a lot of time, so it's kind of uh burdenizing me. So that's why I'll try to make a course, and then maybe have like 1 to 2 live streams in a whole month, okay, in which I might clear like the doubts up everyone, and you guys will be welcome to join. Okay, you guys can join it if you have any questions. So yeah, I'll make a course and upload it right here as well. You guys will have access to it, okay, since I promised it. So that's not a big deal. I might make it like in these 15 days. You are welcome, man. And if you need something for motivation, I'll tell you, my students have gotten payouts. So that Pip Pipfessor, okay, his username is Pipfessor. You can ask from him how his experience is. Okay, he's a funded trader. Ibra, he's also a funded trader. Okay, so you can ask from them, and they are using my model. Okay, and it turns out to be profitable for them. So this is something that you can use for your motivation, and just for the sake of confirmation that yeah, these things actually work. Okay, so if there isn't any questions, then I guess I'll end the stream right here. Okay, and I'm glad to have mentored you guys. It was a great journey, and I hope that you learn from it and you turn out to be profitable. And just like some of the students, you show me your funded certificates. Okay, so I'll be really excited for that, and I'm expecting it from you. You guys are welcome. So I guess it ends right here. Thank you for joining and be on my streams every single day. Thank you. Good luck for that MTA. Good luck to everyone. So goodbye. I'll stop the recording and then end the stream.